I'll tell you a few things. I wish I could tell you more, but I don't think I can. I don't believe he ever missed a party. He loved to read, and he could tell you anything you never wanted to know about anything from the Civil War through World War II. He had a ridiculously ugly Hawaiian print bathing suit that his friends tortured him unmercifully over, and he earned the nickname of Kono. Kono. Don't know why. And I don't know how he made the bathing suit last for so long, but that was a trademark. As I said, we went to University of Georgia together in '74, and we both pledged the ATO fraternity, where our sponsor and older brother, Mr. Morris Jones, back there, held Sunday school lessons 3 times a week. And of course, Brother Henry Holly out there was in attendance with us as well. I don't know if any of the ATOs in the room, but I think you all know about the Sunday school lessons. Anyway, we had a very good time, but I actually had a yearning to go west, and I actually left to Georgia in '75, and David and I never lived together again after that. And of course, Carolyn's explained, I went on to marry and have a career and so forth, but we did stay in touch. I do have some anecdotes, and Jeff, I'm going to have to pick on you a little bit, Jeff Lucan, because I don't know why our parents let us do it, but we went to the Sugar Bowl one year, and we had to stay all the way across Lake Pontchartrain. We got this little hinky hotel, and one night while we were gone, our rooms were broken into, and everybody's suitcases were stolen, except Jeff Lucan's. And I think it was David that was laughing uproariously when the sheriff's deputies came in, which made it look very bad for us, because Jeff Lucan's suitcase wasn't fit enough to be stolen by a thief. So this is the kind of unmerciful sort of ribbon you got if you were part of that group. But and then the next night we fairly scared him to death over in the French Quarter, and I won't go into those details, but I think I was 15 at the time. Anyway, thanks, Dad, for being understanding. Again, you know, if any of you guys out there want to add anything to this, I don't want to, belabor this and keep us too long. But I guess the thing to tell you, David was a lot of fun. And these last few years of his life don't define his life. And they don't for any of us. You know, we have a long history, hopefully, of life that's not cut short. And during that time, we grow, we change. And there's good, there's bad. We all experience tragedy, and certainly we experience great joy. And he had it all. And I would simply say the circumstances of his death don't speak to the actual quality of his entire life. And so with that, if anybody else would like to say anything, by all means, Jeff, you want to come up here and have a word? All right, well, defend yourself. Well, while you're on the way up here, I asked Jeff downstairs a few minutes ago, well, why after living in LaGrange for 50 years and being around all of us running around, does he still speak with a Yankee accent? Why is that, Jeff?
I told Steve when I go up north, they tease me about my southern accent.
Man with no country. The mayor, your honor, please.
The late mayor.
The late.
Former mayor. Former mayor, yeah.
Evidently he left me alone because he knew I had one.
I told Steve I was not going to talk today, but Debbie Hutchinson kept giving me such dirty looks I thought I better get up.
Good for you, Debbie.
He was known as Kono because he wore a Hawaiian bathing suit before it was cool. And as Steve took my line, I sat and thought about a lot of stories things that David and I went through because we were friends for 46 years. And then I realized I'm going to be in a church, and I really couldn't tell those stories. But not only was I going to be in a church, I was going to be in a church where my mother's sitting. So I'm going to say that I'm going to miss my friend Tono, and I'm going to miss that devious grin he had. But he lost that grin a good while back, and but I'm going to try to remember the smile he had on his face. And I'm going to miss him.
If any of y'all want to be lifted up, just get near Joe Bradfield. There's still that big toothy grin on his face, making you laugh and cutting up. David loved jokes, loved pranks, had an infectious laugh. It was infectious and made you laugh along with him, even if you were the butt of his jokes. I just hope God likes being punked.
He will be.
He will be. David was a good man and a good friend. He lost his way and couldn't find his way back.
That's all I got to say.
Well, he's not lost anymore. God called him home.
Thanks.
All right.
I got a couple good stories I just can't let go. David and all of us buddies were together through all good times and bad times. We were all very close. David and Skin and Bob Newman and I took a trip around the country for 6 weeks. We all loved each other. After 6 weeks in the Suburban, we wanted to kill each other. David, the night before he got married, Buck and I and Skin loaded him up into a Suburban and told him we were all going out for drinks just to celebrate he was getting married the next day. He was the first of all of us to get married. Instead, we brought him over to Lucan Chevrolet into the service department, handcuffed him to an iron pole, and left him.
I'm glad you finally admitted it. Thanks for fessing up.
It was me.
It was you.
There's still a warrant out for that.
You were there.
Just outside of his reach, just outside, as far as leg could grab, we put a pack of cigarettes, a lighter, and a Playboy magazine. We drove around for 15, 20 minutes thinking it was a great idea, and then somebody in the car actually got some intelligence and said, what if the place catches on fire? So we went back and got him out of the service department, and it got worse for David. He stayed hooked to Tim Huckstep, handcuffed all the rest of the night.
Until he said he had to go to the bathroom, and that was
That's another story. There's about 50 great stories. There's only one or two we can tell in this. David, 2 years later, got me back when I got married down in St. Petersburg. He grabbed me off the dance floor in my tux. He and Huck and the rest of the guys proceeded to walk across the highway and toss me into Tampa Bay. David was a great man, a great friend, great sense of humor, and we're all going to miss him. Thank all of y'all for coming here today.
I got one last thing. All I want to do is tell you that I grew up in a house with first 3 boys and then 3 more with Janine joining us. And I'm going to tell you, poor Janine, I think we probably drove her crazy. I never had a sister, never knew anything about women. It was all trial and error. Sorry. But I'm going to tell you what, if I ever had a sister, I'd want it to be Carolyn. Oh. Because Carolyn has done so much for me and really for everybody that I know she's touched. And she's just a great person to know and a great friend to have. And Carolyn, I don't say it often enough, but I do love you.
I love you too.
And with that, how you want to